All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. Dynasty lunch break. Today, we are doing a 1QB. I almost forgot what it was. I almost said Superflex right after saying 1QB. We are doing a 1QB startup mock draft today, and we will do that with all of you guys. So great to have you in here today. Jack, how do you join the mock? Yes, I will be posting that link here just shortly, and you can claim your spot. I've not done a 1QB mock in a very long time. So I think that's fun to always try to, diversify a little bit. Startup season is the best. Hut. That's right. Got that intro going, baby. Matt, good to see you, buddy. Good to have you here today. Dominic, I love startup season as well, my guy. Love startup season. So we're not going to waste a lot of time. I know you guys are in here. You guys are already excited to join. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat the link to join me and do this 1QB mock draft. There it goes. Dynasty. Drop the mic. What's good, my guy? Christopher, what's good? I don't know. It would be interesting if he didn't declare. I think he's one of the top backs in the class. He will not drop out of my top 4. I can tell you that for sure. So it would be a surprise, but it's definitely in the realm of possibility. Red Moon, what's good? What's good? What's good? All right. Let's see. Let me get all my my settings. Good to go. Nice and ready. And then yeah, let's share the old screen here. Yeah, I don't do a lot of 1QB either, to be honest. I almost all my leagues are super flex, but we get comments all the time like, "Hey, I still play in 1QB leagues. What the heck? Why don't we show any love for the 1QB leagues?" So want to try to get a little 1QB magic going here. Now remember, this is Dynasty. This is not redraft. This is still a Dynasty draft. So as tempting as it might be, maybe don't take Derrick Henry 1 overall. Just saying. I mean, you do you. You do what you want. But might not be the best option. All right, let's see. Oh, it says it's not loading. See, Adam, he said that's him. Looks like it's loading on my end. We'll see. All right, I think we've got everybody in. Got everybody in for the draft now. Let me make sure all my stuff's good. All right, let's do this thing. 1QB mock. It's only 30 seconds. So it's going to be moving pretty quickly. All right, here we go. Start draft. All right, we've got the first pick here on the board. And I'm curious to see. It's Data Fork. Good to see you, my guy. This was the scenario I was hoping happened. This is why I picked 3. Because I don't know that I could have resisted taking Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson earlier, but I was hoping that Bijan Robinson, honestly, I would be fine any one of these 3 guys with my first pick in a 1QB league. And so I figured 3 puts me in a and get whatever one I want to get. Brock Bowers was tempting. Had this been a tight end premium, I probably would have gone Bowers over Bijan, but it was very close for me in making that decision. So first 4 picks off the board: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, and then Brock Bowers. Jay, I'm sorry. Hey, we put it in the chat, my guy. Put it in the chat. Amber, yeah, in a 1QB. I mean, look, in Superflex, I'm taking him first round around 10, 11. So in a 1QB, you take away all those quarterbacks. Yeah, I think part of it is we're used to seeing all these quarterbacks in here, so these guys seem much higher when you're not used to that. Copel, I won a t-shirt giveaway from the iTunes review. Emailed Rich, but haven't gotten a response yet. What should I do? I will send me a DM on Twitter and remind me. I'll say something to him and make sure he sends that out. All right. After these first few picks, there's a player that I'm surprised on. Let's see. Yeah, that was the player, Connor. That was a player that I was very surprised was still on the board. So picks 5 through 10, we have CeeDee Lamb, Ross St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and then Puka Nakua. So yeah, I'm with you. I would have thought Malik Neighbors would have gone. I would have guessed 7 or 8 for him to still be on board. I do think that's really good value. And he does not go in the first. It's official. So Puka Nakua, then Nico Collins wrapping up the first round. So we have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Brock Bowers, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Puka Nakua, Nico Collins, and then finally with the first pick of the second round, Mr. Malik Neighbors is off the board. Now, what will be kind of interesting, because most people in dynasty leagues do play Superflex. So to get out of that Superflex mindset, looks like, Yonko, hopefully you come back. Christian McCaffrey, not a terrible pick, but there's definitely many players that I would rather have over top of a guy like Christian McCaffrey in a dynasty 1 QB league. I am curious to see when QB1 goes off the board. That will be another interesting one. All right. We got the Ohio State receivers there for Sedated Fork, who, if I remember now, is now becoming a Buckeyes fan. So it would make sense. It would make sense that he would go with all the Buckeyes. Yeah, the rankings are a little wonky. They're more like redraft rankings than they are dynasty rankings. So they are a little bit wonky by comparison. So this is the part that I'm not quite used to. Like I had no doubt who I was taking with my first pick, but with my second pick here, it gets a lot more difficult. Because normally I'm taking 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds, and I think a lot of people would do something similar. So now trying to figure out who I would take next after all of these guys have gone is a little tricky, if I'm being honest. Since McCaffrey and Harrison, we have Drake London, Devon Achane, Brian Thomas Jr., Lad McConkey, and then DJ Moore. So Jacob is up, and then I've got to make my decision. Ooh, which is not an easy decision to make, if I'm being completely honest here. Oof. All right, I'm officially on the clock now. I do not love my options. I think I've got to go AJ Brown. I get that he's getting a little bit older, but he's still got a lot of upside. Still got a lot of upside. Only 28 years old coming into next year. So we've still got a good 3 years left with AJ Brown. So obviously this puts me on a little bit of an older build overall, but I think I'm okay with that. Let's see. I want to kind of take a look at, Trey McBride. I thought about Trey McBride for sure. Got to take a look at all, because these rankings are so wonky. Got to really kind of dig deep and look into all these guys. Jackson Smith and Jigba, that's a great pick. I was kind of hoping he would be back for me here. All right, Josh Allen, the first quarterback off the board. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I thought about taking him here. Obviously, I did not. I ended up not getting the option to take him, but I would have been very tempted to take him here. That being said, puts me in a tough spot. I'm gonna go with Rashee Rice. I love what he did last year with Patrick Mahomes. Love what he offered and brought to the table. So yeah, I think I gotta go Rashee Rice. Rankings wise, he was far and away the highest ranked one QB player that I had left on the board. So yeah, so according to my own rankings for one QB, I have Bijan as my second ranked player. I have, let's see, AJ Brown is my 14th ranked player. So for him to go in the 20s, that's solid value. And then I have Rashee Rice as my 18th ranked player. So overall, I'm happy with who I got here. For the record, I have Josh Allen 28th. So not far off from where he went in this actual draft, and that includes picks. So player-wise, he would have been the 27th player off the board. Here he goes as the 26th player off the board. So very reasonable range for him to go. So in the third round so far, we have Jackson Smith-Njigba, Josh Allen, Rashee Rice, Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, and then Sam Laporta. So we've got our third tight end off the board. Sedated Fork goes with James Cook here, a running back that I do like quite a bit. Ron going with Derrick Henry was a little bit of an interesting one. I get it from the like, hey, I think he can help me win now perspective, but a guy that old is a little bit tough for me to take this early on in a draft. So, and then kind of Tyreek Hill with the next one. But these teams are kind of committing to more of a win now model, which I can't knock them. I can't knock them for doing that. Chase Brown, so Jaden Daniels and then Chase Brown, last two picks of the third round, now into our fourth round. And this is where I would kind of expect to start seeing more quarterbacks, although we did have 3 go in this past round. So we're definitely in that range. Although I have some guys ranking wise for me that I still have ranked in my 20s that have not gone yet. So kind of curious. Oh, there's one of them, T. Higgins. So I'm kind of curious to see where the rest of these guys that I have in my 20s. Let's see. How many do I have left? I have one. Wait, no, he's not on the board anymore. He's gone. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 guys left in my 20s that have not gone yet. Devontae Smith was ranked 30th in 1 QB, so I do not have him. So I have 3 guys left. I'm not going to say who they are because I'm hoping one of them falls to me here. Let's see. I got to get back to some of these questions. JSN getting overlooked in Dynasty. Absolutely. 101, if we had that, would have some real value here. Absolutely. It's tough going in here without the ADP rankings. Where would I slide in the first pick? If I had 101 Ashton Genty, he's going right here. He's going like probably 107, 108 range. That's where I would probably be taking Ashton Genty if I had that option. All right. Let's see. Okay, we had one of the other guys from the 20s just go. So Zay Flowers, another guy that I had in my 20s. So we have 2 guys left. I take that back. We have 1 guy left. And I am going to get him. Look, obviously, it's a little bit of a projection. But I still think Roma Dunze is an incredibly, incredibly talented player. So I have no problem gobbling him up here with that kind of value. So three wide receivers off the board for me this early. Definitely strong at that position. AJ Brown, Rashee Rice, and then Rome Odunze there for my three wide receivers. Let's recap the fourth round here. T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Joe Burrow, Brandon Ayuk, DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts, Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Addison, Roma Dunze, Chris Olave, and then Kenneth Walker off the board. All right, back-to-back running backs for Copel here. Takes David Montgomery and Kenneth Walker with his two picks. Man, running back's gonna be tough at this point. With it being one QB league, those running backs win a lot quicker than they would typically go. So trying to nab a running back here just feels honestly like I'm gonna be just a little bit overdrafting a guy. So I'm probably not gonna go that route. And I am big on team just best player available. Ooh, oh, man, I don't love it. But I think I gotta go. With Michael Pittman Jr. here. He's a tough one, and the clock definitely makes it a little bit trickier for me. But at this point, I don't want to reach at a tight end because I see all of those tight ends almost identical at this point. Like, there's no tight end that just sticks out as like, oh, he's so much better than all the other ones. Quarterback, we're outside of that elite tier now. So it just kind of put me back into a mode where, when in doubt, it's always best player available, but it just kind of went back to the wide receiver position. So lots of wide receivers for me through my first five picks, I should say. Steven knew I was going with Rome. Through the first four picks, who has the strongest squad right now? Who like Jacob's team. I worry a little bit about his receivers though. Through four picks. I do like Sedated Fork's team. Yeah, those would probably be my two favorites outside. Yeah, I think those would be my two favorites probably. It's close though. It is close. Didn't take Pickens ahead of Pittman. Pickens is a tough one for me. I thought about him. He was definitely somebody that was in yeah, I definitely don't mind the Nico Neighbors T. Higgins start there. I think that's a great start as well. Yeah, I thought about Pickens. I did. But he's just such a knucklehead. That it's hard for me. I get worrying about A-Rich as his quarterback. I do. But I don't think that will be the case very long into the season. So I think better days are ahead for Michael Pittman Jr. All right, wrapping up the fifth round after Worthy, we went Mahomes, Kincaid, Coleman, Mike Evans, Isaiah Pacheco, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, and then George Kittle. We've got these quarterbacks starting to go off the board. Another one here in Mr. Bo Nix. Jaden Reed. I think Jaden Reed was a value there. He was somebody that I was also thinking about taking when I took Pittman there, but ended up just going a different route. Ramondre Stevenson here at 6'3", CJ Stroud at 6'4". There's one guy that I'm really hoping comes back to me. Really hoping comes back to me because at this point, I think he's a really good value. But we'll see. If not, I'll pivot. But there's one guy that I'm counting the picks counting the picks. All right, Alvin Kamara, we're good there. Good there. I can take that one. We'll see. Bonji. Bonji knows me pretty well. We'll see what route he goes. I don't think he would go with this guy, though. All right. I think we're good. Red Moon. We'll see. He could go with this guy here. I could see him. This is the last guy I'm really worried about taking the guy I want. Ah, that was my other guy. Dang it. Okay, so I was hoping to get him back at 7-3 because I think Chew Hubbard's a really good value now. But fortunately, my number one guy is still good. And unless Jacob doubles up at a position that would be weird to double up at this point, I should be okay. All right, J.K. Dobbins, we're good. We're going to the tight end position, folks, and we're going to take Mark Andrews. I think Mark Andrews is a great value here, 29 years old, and we know these guys are playing into their mid-30s at this point, so feel like that is really, really good value. So excited to be able to get Mark Andrews there. Running back position. I mean, we saw a lot of running backs just go in the most recent round, so it's gonna be a tough one to be able to get who you need there. But there's still plenty of good players late that you can grab at that position. So I'm not overly worried about that. Not overly worried about the position. Let's see. I probably am going to go running back here because I think there's a couple of those guys that are the best players on the board. And so I probably will be going with running back here. Few good options.
Come on, dude.
Adam got timed out. It happens to the best of us. I think I'm going to go with Najee Harris here. Not the sexy pick, obviously, but really in the 7th round, what pick is a sexy pick? But very solid player. He's going to get an opportunity, whether it's still in Pittsburgh or whether it is somewhere else. So I do not want ETN. I did not. How many years do you think Scary Terry has? I think we can look at 2 more seasons. 2 more seasons you feel pretty good about. All right. Anybody going really heavy at a position here? Let's see. I did 4 receivers in my first 5 picks. That was kind of the heaviest there. Nobody's gone multiple quarterbacks yet, so you guys are doing a good job there. Running back wise, most teams have 2. There's a couple with 1 here that could grab 1 here in a moment. Only 1 team with the 3 running back set. And then I don't think anybody's been that multiple tight end guy yet. Although if you get Matt O'Hara in a draft, you're definitely getting the multiple QB or tight end early. Like he would have probably taken at least 2 by this point, if not 3.
Oh, come on, dude.
All right. So I don't know if I ever recapped the 6, so we'll recap the 6 and then go into the 7th real quick. Bo Nix, Jaden Reed, Ramondre Stevenson, CJ Stroud, Jameson Williams, Alvin Kamara, Jerry Jeudy. Then we have Hubbard, Dobbins, Andrews, ETN, Tracy. And then into the 7th round, Josh Downs, Devontae Adams, Harris, Shakir, Mixon, Caleb Williams, Jalen McMillan. I like that McMillan pick there. Cortland Sutton, Tank Dell, Hollywood Brown, Pollard. And then we will wait and see what the final pick of the 7th round is here. So quarterback wise, it looks like we only have 3 teams without. Jake Gork does not have a quarterback yet. Then I do not have a quarterback yet, and A. Copel does not have a quarterback yet. I tend to be the last. Like, if I don't get Josh Allen, I'm going to probably be in most drafts the last guy in a 1 QB to take quarterback. And it's partly because, like, there's still, I mean, there's 3 or 4 guys that I would take even ahead of some of the quarterbacks that have gone. And so I got to save several rounds at the position by not going quarterback there. So it was able to get me another receiver or a tight end or something like that. So I tend to just wait a really long time at quarterback in a 1 QB. All right. Trey Benson, TJ Hawkinson. I was wondering when Hawkinson was going to go off the board. I feel like that's really good value for Hawk there. Zach Charbonnet, Javonte Williams, and then Ricky Pierce. Also, Cork said, "Hey, I'm still not going quarterback. I'm going to battle you for the last guy to take a QB." So David Fork's been sniped a little bit. It happens. Anytime you get smart guys in a room, it's going to happen. And we always know that there's a lot of smart guys in the room anytime we're talking about nerd. Adam, don't worry about it, my guy. Happens to the best of us. Kyle Pitts, Chris Godwin just went off the board. So time for me to pull up my own board here a little bit. Take a look. Running back position right now. There's not a lot there at the moment. There's not a lot there to get overly excited about. So probably not going there. I don't want to reach at a position. It's funny, these like stars last years, because I swear this was from like 2019 when I put these ones up. So that's pretty funny. All right. So the 2 guys that just went, let me see real quick. Marvin Mims and Amari Cooper just went. So I think at this point I will go ahead and take a quarterback. There's still a lot to like at a lot of these positions. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. Feel really good about him, what he's able to do. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. There's a running back that it could be exciting with his new coach. Oh, let's see. This new coach. Well, I do know one guy that I will probably be taking. I don't know if it's the same guy that you are thinking of or not. Might be, depending on what I'm seeing here, taking a look at. Might be the same guy. We'll have to wait and see, Steven. James Conner goes here at pick 812. So lots of running backs. Many teams still with 2 running backs, a few with 3. But Copel, he's got 4 already. Myers and Ferguson go. So I feel okay about this value. I like DeAndre Swift here. I think that's pretty good value for him at this point. Still a guy that's in his prime. So I feel like that's good value to get him as my RB3 here. Feel like I didn't stretch, didn't overdraft him. Curious, Steven, if that was the guy you're thinking of or if you were thinking of somebody else. My boy Spears just went. Okay, that was him. There we go. My boy Spears just went. Was hoping to get him back next round. Didn't quite make that happen, but that's all right. Looking at my team overall, I don't love the Pittman pick. It's probably my least favorite pick of all of mine, but I don't hate it. When you look at a lot of the guys that went after at the position, like nobody's overly exciting to me. Could have gone Jaden Reed and probably been fine with that too. But overall, definitely a little bit on the older side of things. So it's definitely more of a win now team, but feel great about AJ Brown and Rice holding down receiver. Bijan Harris and Swift. It's a good trio. Mark Andrews and then Justin Herbert. So yeah, I kind of like how things played out here so far for me. Jake Cork still did not get a receiver, a Copel or a quarterback. A Copel still did not either. So they're still playing chicken for the last guy to get. And we have our first team taking their second quarterback off the board. So saying, hey, maybe I'll make a trade. Or maybe in case one guy doesn't pan out as well as I hope, the other guy will. Tucker Kraft here, though, I think was great value. I was thinking about taking him, even though I already had a tight end, because it really is best player available for me. But Swift was just too good of a value to pass up there at pick 9-3. So had to go that route. But do like the Tucker Craft pick there for Jay Cork. Let's see. After Love, we have Jordan Mason, Xavier Leggett, Calvin Ridley. And I think this shows me once again why I love Superflex so much, because in one QB, it gets ugly. It feels much uglier, much quicker, because you're just taking out more or less a whole position. I get you. There's so many good quarterbacks available. There's no point in rushing. I 100% understand that. And even Justin Herbert going, like, I could have easily waited another round. I just really have him ranked pretty high. Like, I have him over Caleb Williams, over Bo Nix, over CJ Stroud. So it felt like a good time to kind of capitalize on a guy that I had pretty highly on my board. Sedated Fort gets his 5th running back now. So first guy with 5 running backs there for Sedated Fork, but still no tight end. One of the few teams without a tight end. So it's going to be down to him and Red Moondog for the last team to take a tight end, which honestly, I get it. Jonnu Smith, I love that pick. I was hoping he would fall another round or two personally, but totally get it. 4 guys I'm still very confident with as my starting quarterback. I hear you, my guy. All right, we're starting to get close to my pick, so I got to pull the old board back up here. Aaron Jones, Rashad White, kind of the top running backs available. Got some young guys in Corum and Wright. Let's see. Could take another quarterback if I wanted to. I don't really want to, but it's on the table. Best player available. Got some receivers out there still with some upside, some young guys that could be pretty interesting depending on how things shake out. And then we've still got some good tight ends on the board.
Oh, come on, dude.
Still got some good tight ends on the board. So interesting spot. It's definitely that point where it's starting to feel a little gross. You're not overly in love with a lot of the options still on the board, but got to do what you got to do. Who do I want to go with here, man? I'm going to go with the upside here. I'm going to take an upside play. My wide receiver 5. Take some Rashid Shaheed. Like what he did at the beginning of the year this past year. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here. And I feel pretty good about that. We've got another team taking their second quarterback. Jacob said, all right, I'm going to take Kyler Murray. I see the value there. I'd rather just gobble up value than take a different position. So I respect it. Well, Copel, he did. He finally pulled the trigger, got his first quarterback. So Jay Cork got his with Tua. He successfully won the chicken match at quarterback and was the last guy to get his quarterback here. All right, back to me. And honestly, I'm probably going to take another tight end just because of the value there. I think Evan Ingram's pretty good value here. And, there's always guys that get hurt. Good opportunity to then maybe make a trade later at the tight end position. Drake May and Baker Mayfield, such good values here. So everybody's getting their second quarterback now. Anthony Richardson, Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy. In a super flex league, I'm taking both Drake May and Baker Mayfield probably in the second round. So for them to be falling this far, like I think it's incredible value for those two players. All right, teams are really wanting to gobble up that second quarterback now. Starting to see a bit of a run. Brock Purdy picks later. Trevor Lawrence. Got a Jalen Colker sighting. The Coke Meister. All right. All those Coke heads out there appreciating that pick, which by the way is his official fan club name, I guess. So wanted Mooney and Shaheed on the turn and got sniped. I'm sorry, my guy. Accidentally auto picked. All good. All good. Did feel a tad high for Anthony Richardson. So makes sense that it was an auto pick. All right. 3 picks left for me. 3 picks left. What do I want to do? It's a lot of good options out here, a lot of good names out here. And by good names, I mean mediocre at best, but you get the point. All right. Last few picks we've had Isaiah Likely, then Christian Kirk, Romeo Dobbs, Pop Douglas, Aaron Jones, Quentin Johnston, and Tyler Algier. Adonai Mitchell goes at 12-8. And then I will be next up on the board. I think I'm going to go back to the running back position. And did I miss Jalen Wright going? Oh, he did go. All right, at 11-10. Braylon Allen, another good pick. That was another one I'm looking at. I'm going to go same type of lane here. I'll go ahead and take Blake Corum. And just a high-end backup if something were to happen to the starter. You have somebody that can come in and at least give you running back 2 type numbers. So I like getting these handcuffs a little bit later on in the draft, but not all handcuffs are created equal. So not just taking a handcuff just to take one, but definitely looking at who's available for me. Let's see. Did I miss it? Did Michael Penix go? He did not go. All right. I'm going to take a little Michael Penix. I don't know where he's at. There we go. Get a little Penix value there. Take him as my second quarterback, young upside guy, in case something were to happen to Justin Herbert. I know what I'm going to get out of a player like a Michael Penix. So feel good about him as my QB2. Wasn't necessarily thinking I had to get a QB2. I would have been fine leaving the draft with just one quarterback and then grabbing whoever, a Matt Stafford or Kirk Cousins later. But I do like Penix quite a bit, and I do think he's a player that could rise in value. So wanted to go out and grab him there. Christian Watson, Nick Chubb, Michael Penix. Then we have Michael Wilson, Dalton Schultz, and then we've got Marshawn Lloyd here at pick 13-6. He would have probably been my pick had we come back around to if he would have been there for me at the next selection, but unfortunately he was not. Ben Sinnott, another good pick, another guy that I would have had my eye on, although I don't really love rostering a ton of tight ends, but definitely somebody I would have at least kept an eye on there. Ooh, let's see. There's a couple players left that I'm definitely interested in. See if they make it back. Oh, Ray Davis just went. That's a great pick. I was surprised Ray Davis lasted that long, to be completely honest. Don't think he should have been available that far late when we saw guys like Bigsby and Garendo and stuff going in the 10th. For Ray Davis to be available in the 13th, very, very, very good value there. All right. JJ McCarthy, Kamani Vidal, and then Javon Baker there in the 14th. Oh, man. This is tough. Who do I want? I'm just digging deep, seeing if there's like some random running backs that were missed that should not have been missed. Man, how deep does this go? All right, here's a lot of the rookies or young guys. Oh, that's me. Would have taken Sincere McCormick. Oh, wait, no, it's not me. Jacobs, time's up. Oh, but it does not want to. All right, we'll just let CPU auto pick here. All right, there we go. Now it's to me. I'm going to be going with Sincere McCormick. I liked a little bit what I saw out of him towards the end of the year. I get it. He's on a team where who knows what's going to happen. New head coach, new system. So kind of have to wait and see what happens with him. But I saw enough there that like I'll take a flyer on a Sincere McCormick. So guys, take a look at these rosters, these bold, beautiful rosters. Tell me what you think if you had to take one of these teams. Did I? That's funny, Josh. But yeah, who do you what roster would you want? If I'm not gonna take my own. Looking at all of these rosters. Who do I like the most? Man, it's a tough call. It's a lot of good options. If Ron would have gone a different route other than Derrick Henry here, I probably would be leaning toward his. I do like his team a lot. When it's all said and done, the running back's just so bad for Bonji, though. Man, I'm having a hard time deciding. This is pretty equal. This is pretty equal. Yeah, Devin, the 30s, the 30s are tough. The 30s are tough. Not a lot of time. The Pittman pick, if you look for me, that was my least favorite pick that I made of all of them. You look at a lot of the receivers after. I probably could talk myself into Jaden Reed or George Pickens, but both of those guys, not really huge. Like Jaden Reed's very inconsistent. George Pickens is just a head case. So I have a hard time taking any of those guys. I didn't want to reach at running back. Like I would much rather have Pittman over Pacheco, Stevenson, guys like that. I do kind of wish I would have went Chuba Hubbard. I do like the Hubbard pick, and tempted by Tyrone Tracy as well. So those ones are tough, but yeah, it was simply just like that's who the best available player was, and I just wanted to take the best available, basically. But awesome. All right, guys, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming out, hanging out here with me. Had a great time doing this one QB mock with you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day.